welcome to this session on Indeed and Glassdoor, the essentials of employer branding. My name is Danny Stacey and I work as a senior recruitment evangelist for Indeed. A big part of my role is to work as a consultant with decision makers and business leaders at many of the largest organizations around the world. And a big part of that consulting is in the employer brand space. Now, Indeed, the world's #1 job site, has partnered with our sister company, Glassdoor, the worldwide leader in insights on jobs and companies, to provide new offerings to help employers attract, recruit, and hire quality talent more efficiently. And we know that companies who tell their story well turn relevant candidates into hires. And through this new partnership, employers now have the opportunity to reach an unmatched audience of online job seekers across industries, education levels, and years of experience. And the partnership also allows you to better understand current employee sentiment and workplace culture, along with deeper insights on how to influence job seekers researching your company. A good place to start today is a brief snapshot of the UK labour market. Now, vacancies hit a record high of over 1 million in June to August, buoyed by improvements in all sectors. Unemployment's fallen to 4.6%. There's a high demand for staff, with the majority of sectors seeing record vacancy levels and no sign of the labour demand upswing really running out of any steam. The main issue for the labour market right now is that there's just labour shortages. With inactivity around 400,000 above pre-pandemic levels, finding ways of bringing more people back into the labour force is going to be really key. And job seekers have got a lot of options right now. It's a candidate market. Many are going to be choosing between multiple companies. Your employer brand is what's going to enable you to stand out amongst your competitors. And by the way, it isn't just a UK problem. When we look further afield in September, the volume of job vacancies on Indeed France was 16.5% above pre-pandemic levels. During the same period, Germany showed an increase of 26.1%. The US and Australia have also seen these enormous increases with 41.3% and 45.1% respectively. There's an enormous amount of vacancies in these major economies. There's also been talks of a different labour crisis, now dubbed the Great Resignation, with employees re-evaluating their careers and leaving their jobs in record numbers. One way that companies have been trying to address the Great Resignation is by investing in building employer brands that are compelling internally and externally. When leaders partner with marketing and HR to explicitly align individual roles with a company's inspiring brand purpose, it's possible to turn this exodus of employees into an influx of talent. So we've alluded to the Great Resignation. There's no getting away from how powerful branding is. And remember, talent need more information and persuasion right now. They're being looked after by their current employer more so than ever. Your employer brand has the ability to draw candidates in and spark a connection with them before they even apply to a job at your company. The employer brand should be treated as part of your brand portfolio, so it should have the same drive, attention, strategy, protection as the rest of your brand portfolio. And what does employer brand encompass? Well, you need to think about what you want your company to be known for. You can see from the slide I've put on your screen here, that sweet spot in the middle, your employer brand, is all about perception, really. You know, when you think about your employer brand, what does it mean to you? And how does your brand speak to talent? Because we know from our data that 55% of job seekers say their perception of what it's like to work at a company is influenced by reviews from previous or current employees. And 71% of job seekers say a company's reputation has a significant impact on their decision of whether or not to accept a job offer there. So think about the story that you want to tell. Think about what your employer brand should say about your company. We can't talk about employer brand without at least mentioning the importance of employer value proposition, or EVP, or some call it IVP. Whatever you call it, it's effectively what's in it for me. So think of your employer brand as the emotive piece, the ingredients like mission, values, how you treat your employees and the wider communities that you serve. Balance that with a strong EVP. That's the benefits, the rewards, the why your culture is so good that people should want to join you, but also stay with you. Speak to talent to find out what they want from you, and in turn, consider what you need in return. That overlap really is where your EVP sits. Employer branding, of course, impacts talent acquisition and retention. But interestingly, 91% of employers agree that a strong employer brand is also going to determine a company's future success in product sales and customer satisfaction. More than ever in this current market, looking for a job is stressful. It's tough out there. And what are job seekers doing? Well, they're researching your brand to compare benefits, reviews, your culture against your competitors. And they're also asking questions to your current and previous employees. And where is that happening? Well, the conversation and the research is taking place on your company page. Between Indeed and Glassdoor, we've over 450 million ratings and reviews. And there was over 2 billion company page visits last year between the two platforms. Our partnership brings clients the power of our combined strengths in employer branding and hiring solutions. And we believe in the same simple approach. Companies who tell their story well to the right job seekers make more hires, and they make better hires. Together, we're going to help you highlight your employer brand to engage candidates throughout their job search journey. You can see here, 33% of candidates said that even if they had a positive interview experience, that reading or hearing negative reviews of a company would make them reconsider accepting a job offer there. So we know that reviews have a big impact on your brand. And 67% of job seekers ranked online company reviews by current and ex-employees as one of the 3 most important factors when deciding whether or not to apply to a job. And nearly 3 in 4 Glassdoor users read at least 4 reviews before forming an opinion of a company. And job seekers don't just read reviews once for a couple of minutes and move on. Our research shows that they engage with reviews at every step of the job search journey. I'll show you some data points here along that journey. A quarter of job seekers are reading reviews before beginning to even search for a job. These people probably have certain employers as part of their consideration set, so they start with research to see if their ideas about those companies are accurate. But then 2/3 of job seekers are diving into reviews after finding a specific role they still haven't hit apply yet though. 30% of job seekers are reading reviews to prep before going into the interview process. 1 in 10 job seekers still checking back and reading reviews throughout the interview process and commenting on their experiences with the interview process, by the way. And then 5% of job seekers still reading reviews after receiving an offer from the company, but before they give that final yay or nay. You might assume they're due to start on Monday, but your reviews could have had an impact on that decision. I wonder if you're even responding to reviews on your Indeed and Glassdoor pages. Those responses aren't necessarily for those leaving the review, but the huge volumes of potential hires that could go on to read those reviews. Remember, you want your employer brand to bridge the gap between what you want to be known for and what you're actually known for. I often sit down with clients and try and help them consider that gap using a document like I've put on the screen for you now, spanning across their EVP. What's the reality and what are their aspirations? So if you think about compensation here, is what you're paying stacking up versus your talent competitors? If it's not, maybe it's your benefits that supplement those gaps. We can even break down individual buckets like benefits. We could think about flexibility that you offer. Is that supporting all demographics within your operations equally? Think about career opportunities. Is that something you do well? And if so, are you telling potential talent about what it is that you offer? Think about your work environment, the work-life balance as well. How are you talking about that with potential talent? And then the culture is so important to so many job seekers, your cultures, your values. Think about your corporate social responsibility. So many companies doing such wonderful things right now. And often I see it on commercial channels, but not necessarily on your talent channels. And it's important. In a recent series of interviews we conducted about the hiring process, one job seeker said, there are some companies that instantly stand out to me as places where I'd love to work. You can almost feel what it's like to work there just by reading the job description. Now, Bain's EVP summary is incredibly captivating. I'll read it. Picture yourself at one of the world's best places to work, surrounded by teams and people who challenge you, support you, and inspire you to be extraordinary. And I love Unilevers as well. And look, this isn't just great for your employer brand materials, but thinking more tactically, this is great for content in your job descriptions as well. You can imagine this here sitting as a boilerplate at the top of a job ad. Candidates tell us often they care more about the personality of the company than the intricacies of the role that they're applying for. They want to know what a day in the life is like, how you contribute to the communities you serve, in what ways are you supporting inclusion in your business, the tone of leadership, what departments are hiring. On the screen now, these assets, are they ones that you currently have? Are you creating them? And if not, why not? What's standing in your way? Putting another example exercise here that I run through with clients sometimes as well. It helps you craft a short story to tell people. Firstly, define your audiences. Who are you trying to reach? What types of candidates? You'll have different talent personas that you're trying to have a conversation with. And in turn, they require different messages. So what messages about the company do you want to convey? Next, think about your job seeker actions or takeaways that you're looking to promote. What actions should visitors to your pages be taking? It won't just be apply to our jobs. Maybe you want them to become brand advocates, to do some of your work on your behalf. And then think about any obstacles that you have in place, any barriers that you might face with your employer brand activities, and how are we going to solve those? Myself, your account team, we can work with you on this stuff. If you want a follow-up meeting to work through this exercise or any of the other points I've touched on, help you have an action plan and key takeaways that are going to help you move forward with your employer brand, please do reach out. I'll share my contact details at the end. What I would say is our mission is to help people get jobs here. And I hope we're all agreed that a strong employer brand is going to help you to fill your jobs. So, hey, thank you so much for listening. We don't have the opportunity for questions in the format that we're in right now, but if you want to connect or better yet, continue this conversation, I've shared my contact details on the screen. You can find me on LinkedIn, just searching Danny Stacey or using that link, or reach out to me via email. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to hearing from you soon.